Usually it takes a little bit because I'm doing two different sites.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wait for it to come on, which I think it already did. Let me check. Oh, I hate. Oh, there it goes. Mm. And then I'm just gonna lower the sound in here because I hear some music.
Well, now you can turn off the music.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go check if. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm gonna go into Lauren Payton. Hi.
Hi.
Um. uh, all right. Hi, Lauren. How are you?
No, I'm fine. How about you?
I'm great. Okay, I'm gonna go into here and just check that the music is not too loud in the. Let's see.
I don't hear any music.
Oh nope, it's good. It's perfect actually.
Hmm.
All right, Selby, how are you?
Well, I'm fine. How about you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here with you actually. So thank you so much for giving me your time.
No, you're quite welcome.
So this is a very, like I said, super chill, relaxing chit chat that we're gonna have in Second Life, mostly about you, right?
Mm-hmm. I understand that.
Yep. So there's basically no right or wrong answers, and just saying hi to the people live right now. Otherwise, introduce yourself. Go ahead. What is your name and how old you are?
Okay, I'm Selby Evans. I'm a retired professor of psychology, and I'm now 92 years old. Yes, that is correct. 92 years old. I may not sound like it. I hope I don't sound like it, but that is my age at any rate.
That is
And
amazing.
yeah, then I think you wanted to know how I found out about Second Life.
Well,
Um,
yeah, that was going to be my next question, just because everybody could take in that you're actually 92 years old.
mhm.
But how long have you been in Second Life, actually, first?
Well, actually, I came into Second Life back in 2005, um, in July 2005. So I've been in there ever since, and that makes it about 17 years.
So is this the one? Is this your original Abby?
No, it's been modified some. It's actually, I've had it for a very long time. It's essentially my brand now, so that because I take a lot of pictures to put on my blog,
Yeah.
and when I'm in the pictures, I want to have a standard appearance. So this is my standard appearance,
Oh,
and
okay. But what I meant was, is this your only avatar or your only account within Second Life? So this was
well,
your
this is
first.
my this is my only account in Second Life. It is not the only avatar I use, but it is the avatar that I use most of the time. I have
Right.
a few other avatars that I've used, um, including one for a lady, Letitia Sledbury, who was
Oh,
a comedy act,
yeah.
and a few others that I have used in doing comedy acts. A few other avatars that I'm not doing comedy anymore, but in those days I used a few other avatars, on stage. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I use this avatar almost all the time.
Yeah, I do remember you in Lawrence Place, which is where we're at now, right?
Yes.
But I did want to know, since you've been here almost 17 years, how did you find Second Life? back in the days?
Well, back in the at that day, actually, I was listening to a podcast
Mm-hmm.
um, in which Philip Rosedale was describing Second Life, and it sounded interesting. And I realized I wondered if it could be used for various things like making videos and providing instruction and things like that,
Yeah.
in educational instruction. And so I came in and tried it out. And after a while, I found some things I liked, and so I stayed.
That's amazing because you just found it too interesting. It wasn't
Yeah.
about shopping or
No,
modify your
no,
avatar all the time.
no. Actually, I
Oh,
learned very quickly that if I tried to modify my avatar, I would in fact be spending a lot of time on it, and I didn't want to spend my time on that.
right.
So I just picked. This is a very standard avatar. The shirt which says "I love Lauren" is
yeah.
not standard. That refers to Lauren, the comedian
Yeah.
who was here for about 10 years doing shows, uh,
Is she still
and
around?
nope, she's retired.
Oh, okay. So she's gone from Second Life.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, actually, yes, she left well several years ago, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
So we closed. Well, we continued this comedy activity for a while, but
yeah.
eventually we ran out of comedians, so we closed it up.
That's so very sad. Oh, Vince is saying hi. He's glad that you're in Second Life. But if you missed it, Vince, he's been here for almost 17 years.
Well, yes, and as a matter of fact, I made videos of a lot of the comedy acts in Lawrence Place in the last in the several years before closing. And so if people will look on YouTube for my channel, which is Selby Evans, they will find that I do have a playlist of comedy acts from Lawrence Place.
I do remember because I see a lot of videos of Lauren still on YouTube. So you were a huge part of it. You even
Yes,
made some comedy ones. You actually went up on stage.
yes, I did a few myself, but many of them I simply made videos of other people perform. Standard avatar.
Oh
You were
no.
a huge part
I
of
think
it.
I lost your voice.
No, you didn't. I just
Oh,
wasn't talking.
or that. Okay, let me see. Let me turn down this thing. So, initially, what kept you here after you just started exploring? Because 17 years is a long time.
Well, what kept me here initially, first I simply enjoyed looking around because they've had interesting scenery, and then what really caught my eye was I was riding on a streetcar, as a matter of fact, rail car,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw the Hobo Village, and
A what village?
the Hobo Village. Have you seen it?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, people would not necessarily have seen it very much now. It is not very active now, but at that time it was fairly active, and it was quite clear to me that that was a work of art. Um, and I jumped off the rail car to come and look at it, and I did. And then I looked around, and after looking around quite a bit of time, I made a video of it, and then I got to know the people who were in charge of it, and the people who were active there,
Yeah.
and I made some other videos there, and I also met Arcadia Asylum, a really tremendous artist in Second Life, and so one of my first interest was art. Even though I'm not really an artist, but I do have an eye for art.
So, was that like a hobby for you That's why. That's what.
Yes, it's,
Yeah.
yeah, that was like a hobby. And then subsequently, I found other kinds of things, educational activities available.
Because you're a
And
professional or in real life, right? What is it that you did?
I was professor of psychology at a
Professor of
university.
psychology. That's
Mhm.
amazing. Do not evaluate me during this time.
No, I don't. I don't. Psychologists do not evaluate people
Ah, right, right.
unless we get
There-
paid to do it, and otherwise we're not going to do it any more than any. Well, we'll do it less than other people.
Oh, so let me ask you this. So you've been here 17 years almost. That means you were around 75 years old when you found Second Life.
Yes, that's
That's
right.
amazing.
Hmm.
So were you in other virtual worlds? Did you know other virtual worlds?
Well, actually, Second Life is the first one that I encountered. I did learn about other virtual worlds, and um, the first few that I tried several of them, and just to look and see, and well, basically, most of the virtual worlds that I went to, and I looked around, and I thought that's nice and pretty, but there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And, and so I spent about 15 minutes admiring the nice and pretty, and then I didn't have anything else to do, so I left.
Oh,
Um, Now I actually am in several other virtual worlds now.
oh wow. At
I'm
the
in Open
moment.
Sim. Yeah, I'm well. I not at this moment, but
Well,
I mean,
obviously.
but
You mean
yeah,
you're
uh,
active in other worlds right
yes,
now.
yeah, right.
Mm.
I'm Open Sim, Open Simulator. I'm quite active in Open Simulator, and then I'm active in a couple of what I call web worlds. Those are worlds that you do not have to download anything. You simply go to in your browser.
With an avatar.
Yes, right.
Wow, you should give us the links after this so I can put them in the description box. I've never heard of
Well,
that.
okay. Let me point you to something that's very important to me, and that is my blog.
Oh, okay.
Um, and yeah, I will give you a link to my blog in just a moment after I call it up. Uh, but the and by the way, it's not really useful to give links in voice.
Well,
Uh,
obviously.
yeah, what you
Selby,
do,
I
what
don't
you
know if you're being mean to me or
mm,
if you're just being funny. I said.
well,
But yes, obviously, don't give me links in voice. You're gonna have
well, I don't
to.
mind. I don't mind giving them, but nobody
No,
is going
no.
to go to.
Well,
Uh,
I think I have to be very, very specific with you. At the end of the live, let's do a note card with those links so I could put them in the description box for everybody to
that's
see.
what you should do, is put them in the description box. But
Yeah.
now I just gave it to you right where. Well, actually, what I'll do is I'll put it in chat,
Mm,
and you can then go and copy the all of the comments into chat
absolutely. And then I'll
into
give
your.
everybody your blog post.
Yeah, and pretty much everything that I would refer to in any case is going to be available on my blog, and that was what I was going to say. You can find my YouTube channel easily on my blog. There'll be some mention of that, um,
Okay.
and you can also find um, well, pretty much anything I'm talking about. My blog, that's what my blog is about, is what various things that I encounter or
Mm.
find interesting in virtual worlds.
Okay. So that's literally about virtual worlds then. That's amazing. Let me go into this. Okay. And I will save those and put them in the description box at the end of the live for everybody to catch. Are you
Mm-hmm.
also doing YouTube videos still?
I still do some YouTube videos,
Mm-hmm.
particularly about about interesting things that will appear and will put into my blog.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you're doing now?
Well, that's the main. That's about the only thing I do with videos now. And essentially, nowadays I'm primarily talking about virtual worlds as as you know, the
Hmm.
term metaverse has become very popular,
Oh,
and of course,
absolutely.
metaverse merely refers to an imaginary collection of virtual worlds.
Yes. So I'm pretty sure that intrigued you a lot when all of that was happening.
Yeah. Uh, so, well, of course, now my blog is actually um, including the information about virtual worlds um, that I'm familiar with because, of course, actually, as a matter of fact, the Second Life is probably the best example of something that could become the metaverse.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to that?
No,
No.
um,
Why not?
I, well, I don't believe the metaverse will ever be available. I don't think that there will be. That is to say, the people are talking about the metaverse as something that would be one great big collection of everything, and I
Yeah.
don't think that will ever exist.
Why
I
not?
don't see any, mainly because I don't see any business reasons why the companies would want to do that.
Ah. But we're still at the beginning though.
Yes.
So there's a lot to expect.
Oh, yes.
Tell me one of your favorites. I would love to know your favorite SL experience that you've had in the 17 years that you've been here.
Hmm. Well, I'm not sure that I can. I have a single favorite, but I have probably several favorites. Probably one of the ones that immediately comes to mind is the video capture that I did with a friend of mine
Hmm.
of uh, a Shakespearean play, which was done entirely in Second Life,
Yes.
um, and this was a Midsummer Night's Dream.
Nice.
Um, and um, it was done in several sections. I think it ran 3 days, three separate acts or something of that sort. And we captured the entire video, the video of the entire show, showing what was being done in Second Life at that time.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that was about 2009.
Oh man, when it was super active, right?
Yeah, well, it was just becoming super active at that time.
What do you think happened to Second Life now?
Oh, well, it's been coming up, been expanding a little bit now since there's been so much talk of the metaverse.
Hmm.
And when people go out looking around for a metaverse, uh, they run into Second Life, and and of course it is by far the most complete kind of metaverse that is available. Second Life and OpenSim. I would guess OpenSim is perhaps qualifies a little bit more like the metaverse because it is with the hypergrid it actually is a collection, already a collection of independent virtual worlds.
But OpenSim doesn't have the same amount of users as Second
Oh,
Life by
no,
far. Yeah.
no, it's much smaller, but of course it really doesn't make that much difference to me because I know about this, well, probably about the same number of people in OpenSim that I do in Second Life,
Oh,
but
okay.
not. Yeah, that's sure. Of course, then the people um, there's a lot more people in Second Life, but most of them I don't know.
Like the rest of us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's
Right.
probably
It's a
forty
really good
thousand
point.
people. There's probably 40,000 people or more online right now,
Yeah.
and obviously we don't know them.
What do you think they're doing now?
Well, you don't want it would take an hour probably to describe what they are doing. They're, they're doing whatever they're
Whatever
doing
they
a lot
want.
of different things.
Yeah. Have you been discovering anything new in Second Life in your life?
Um, no, I've been focusing primarily on the educational activities, which are not new, but
Yeah.
there have been some new modifications, improvements and I've been following and not just following but contributing to the to that activity
Yes.
because I'm very much interested in virtual worlds serving as alternative educational locations.
Right. It may not anything else like how to make a home
Mm.
or build a sim or anything like that.
Well, I'm talking about educating kids in high school. Um,
Ah, explain
because of
that.
course, yeah. Well, the kids and Second Life has some sort of arrangement apparently where a school can bring in people,
Mm,
the kids, and they can't go anywhere else in the open in Second Life, but the location of the school.
mm,
But then they can do whatever the school wants to what wants to provide them with. It can if the school can have obviously we can have all sorts of sceneries. We can have we can have uh, the Roman Forum, which they might use in English class for producing Julius Caesar, or they might use in history class for
yeah.
talking about Rome. And so, or it obviously can produce, well, essentially we can, in Second Life, produce practically any scene that we can imagine. Well,
Ha,
probably any scene we can imagine, as a matter of fact.
right. Because
Not
the
even basic.
imagination it would be amazing
Yeah.
here, but you're talking about underage.
Talking about what?
Underage. I mean, they're
Uh,
underage.
underage, yes.
Yes.
These people would be underage, but then that is permitted with as I say, with restrictions in Second Life. It's
Oh, that's
also,
right. Yeah, kind of like the universities.
yeah, well, and of course, there's a number of universities, and they can come in, that they are of the appropriate age, so they can do anything they want to. Uh,
No, I'm thinking this is a high schooler, as if I was a high schooler, and then I learned about Second Life, and I was learning here in Second Life in my room. But then I would know what Second Life is, and I would get curious and make my own account.
yeah. Well, I'm sure that a number of teenagers did that, and they probably lied about their age. This would not be, basically, all of us who are honest understand about lying about our age.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh my goodness. Now, what is your least favorite experience in Second Life?
Well, I guess it's griefers. I haven't really had many occasions of griefers, but I have run into some, actually, some that crashed the sim.
Do they
And
still
that was
do
probably,
that?
do they still do that?
I haven't seen a griefer in such a long time just because Second Life has been so good at it.
Well,
Uh,
actually, I haven't either, and of course, because this is my own sim.
yeah,
If I have seen griefers in here, but all I have to do is know about them, and I can ban them, which is
right.
what I do.
Yeah. That is true. If there
And
was go ahead, go ahead.
I also have the sim set in such a way that they um, can't really do as much very much damage, as a matter of fact, because,
Right.
for example, you can't you can't run scripts in here if you're not in the group,
Right.
in the managing group. So therefore, and you can't run scripts, you can't really do a lot. There's a lot of griefing activities you just can't do.
Yeah, well, that was their main activity with scripts.
Yeah.
So now Second Life changed that a while back, so now we're kind of safe in a way.
Yeah. So
What are you eating?
um, no, I'm not
Oh,
eating anything.
okay. We were talking about your least favorite, and you said griefer. So that means you've been having such a great life. And out of 17 years, have you had a break from Second Life?
Oh no, no, I've never had an occasion to have a break. Well, I guess, other than last year I had a stroke and I was in the hospital
Oh
for
no,
much of January. So that would be, that wasn't an intentional break.
it wasn't anything.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, so I haven't had any reason why I would want to have a break. And
Right, that's
I
understandable.
yeah, I like, well, I've been running my blog since 2010. So,
Wow.
and, I publish several articles a week. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of information about virtual worlds,
Yeah.
Second Life especially in the early days. Now, I've been writing about other virtual worlds more in recent years.
Do you miss anything about Second Life before versus now?
The what?
Do you miss anything about Second Life from before versus now?
I don't think anything. No, I don't think of anything that I missed. I don't think they have removed anything that I cared about. Um,
Well, you're like, really? I've been in Second Life 10 years and I really miss how I feel like it was different back then. There was a lot more people in Second Life. The communication was different. I don't know. Now it feels a little bit empty.
hmm. Well, actually, oh well, I get people who come into Second Life often have that complaint that I can't find anybody.
Hmm.
Um, and I wrote an article, and I'll mention the technique. Basically, obviously, you can't find anybody just by walking around. You couldn't do that in New York City either.
That's a beautiful way to look at it.
And um, what you can do, the best thing you can do is use search, and many people don't know how to use search in Second Life. Actually, the simple online best online search technique
Yeah.
is Control F, Control Fan. Um, just Control F now on your
Oh,
fan.
yes, yes. It is Control F.
Just,
You're doing the
yeah.
shortcuts.
Well, yeah. Well, you see, that works all the time, and
Yeah.
actually, that works online on any web page. It gets you different search capability, but it works on any web page. But it works in Second Life, and in Second Life, if you open it up, then you can find groups, and then you can search the whole set of groups. You can search for any kind of group that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Um, and from with that search, of course, you can find some people well, you find some groups that are doing something you're interested in, and then you can easily join that group and find and contact some of the people.
That's actually
Um,
one of the questions I was going to ask you. What kind of things you would say to someone that's new to Second Life to help them stay in Second Life?
well, that actually is one of the form, and I have a blog article about that. Um, and is one of the best way that, well, essentially it's a guaranteed way to find people that you're interested in, if you have any kind of common interest at all, because there are groups
Yes,
um, that in Second Life about practically anything.
it is. You're right. You just have to really look for it.
Yeah, well, like in the real world, that's what you usually have to do anyway.
Yeah, you're so right. But we do get lazy about it, don't we?
Yeah, yeah, well, so that actually is a piece of useful advice that you can get, that we have given other people.
I wasn't even aware that this was your sim.
This is my sin. Oh yeah.
So it's been your sim all this time.
Oh yes. And I've had this probably since 2009.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
When did the Lauren show start? Because we are at, let me go back. at the comedy club that was amazing, amazing back in the days. You guys even had like 50 to 60 people here at once on
Yes, we
every
did.
show. And you
Mhm.
have proof of it. You have videos of how packed it was. I came here about 8 years ago or so, and it was so packed.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
so
actually,
laggy.
I think it started in 2009. I'm pretty sure it did. That was when Voice came out in
Yeah.
Second Life,
Let me fix my. I'm
when we
sorry.
began having Voice. And of course, we couldn't do it in any practical sense before that.
Oh, obviously, because a comedian typing wouldn't be that funny, would it?
No, it wouldn't work at all.
Yeah, but I know you have the memories and the recordings on your YouTube. Do you ever plan on getting any more comedians here?
Mm, well, I'm not really worried. No, I'm not. I don't have any plans to, and I do, I there's other activity in other places that I visit, especially Hooligans, which is a place in that I visit. Well, uh, they have um,
Comedy?
something like online games. No, they have online games.
Oh, what's
Um,
the name of it?
well,
Hooligans?
the place is called Hooligans.
Okay.
Just and the the online games. Well, they usually have either uh, well, Second Life Squares, which is just like Hollywood Squares except with the name change,
Oh,
and
that's right. That is right.
yeah, and sometimes they have the match game, which was just like the match game. Um, I mean the online match game that you must have seen or seen about at any rate. And occasionally they have some other kinds of things, but those are the two main major activities um, that that they have in that location.
So you do keep active, do some hobbies, and remain active with your friends, is what you're saying here.
Well, essentially, my blog is my hobby.
Right. But you do spend time with friends here, do you not?
Oh yes, yes, right.
Do you guys do
Um,
any parties anymore?
well, I don't really go to parties very much, but I go to meetings of various kinds,
Okay.
um, especially educational meeting. I'm missing a meeting right now that I
Oh
usually go to,
no. I am so
but
sorry.
well, no problem. Obviously, I chose to do this instead. Um, but this meeting, VWER, Virtual World Education Roundtable, they have a meeting every week at this time, and I usually go to this meeting, and I go to another meeting at um, uh, well, guess it's I guess it's 8:30 Second Lifetime
Oh,
um,
okay. That's
on
pretty early.
Friday. On Friday, well, that's Second Lifetime. It's 10:30 my time.
So that
Um,
means you keep pretty active in Second Life. You're always on schedule with or you have a lot of
yeah.
things in your schedule.
Yes, I do.
And that's what a lot of people miss in Second Life. They don't have that.
Yeah. Well, and that's probably if you don't have something to do, you're not really going to come in, and that's probably why a lot of people don't come in.
Yeah, and that's the answer to why it keeps us here. Oh my gosh, what was that? What keeps us here eventually in Second Life? Yeah, because if we don't look for it ourselves, we're just gonna be bored in the next 5 minutes and log
Yeah,
off.
right. That's right. Um, well, that's why I make a point of telling people how to find other people. We know communities are really the basis for holding people in Second Life, and probably that's going to be the case in all other virtual worlds that survive.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have anything going on in your sim?
In this sim, oh well, this sim is very active in the literary, well, yeah, literary activities. We
Okay.
have the library here, the community virtual library is here, um, and they have numerous activities. And then there's
On a weekly
also
basis?
oh, um, well, I don't think I'm not on a week, not that regularly. I regularly scheduled. I'm not
Okay.
quite sure what their schedule is,
Right.
although they have a schedule out there. They have a library um, available, and you can go over there and look at it. Um, and then we also have a literary group, writers group, um, and well, those are the main activities. Much of the land is taken up to support them. And then we have actually um, one area is taken up to support um, a bunch of a whole lot of locations.
Mm-hmm.
One Japanese educator has collected lots and lots of educational locations, and you can
Ah.
go there and travel to any of those locations
Oh, I
from
see.
his display. Yeah,
So, oh, you're talking about a multi-teleporter.
yeah. Well, yes, it's basically a teleporter that takes you to various places. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. When you click on it and then the menu comes up and it'll take you there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I shall try that. Not during the interview though. Like you
No.
say. Oh my goodness. What else do I need to know about you? What do you want people to know about you?
Well, I pretty much I have already told them
My whole
everything I want
life.
to know. That's what I normally do. Um,
Are you always this happy?
yep, almost always, I guess.
And what is it that we need to do to be happy like that all the time?
Well, I guess maybe um, pursue some kind of useful objectives. That at least that's what I do.
Yeah.
Um, and I figure my blog, for example, is a useful objective because it has lots and lots of useful information about how to use virtual worlds.
Right. Now, it's making me want to go visit Open Sims.
You want to go visit OpenSim?
I
Yeah,
think I should. I mean,
yeah.
I did one time and I felt so very confused and alone because I never saw one single person.
Oh well, actually, um, I didn't have that experience, but I basically avoided it because I knew about it for quite some time, and my policy was I said I'm not going there until my friends go there, and
Oh, so you took
my
them there.
friends, a bunch of my friends did go there, and so I went and I found, of course, obviously I was there because of my friends, not
Yeah.
because of anything in particular, which is you don't normally go to any place um, uh, uh, unless you want to be with some of your friends.
Well,
I
you
suppose
logged on to Second Life without friends, didn't you?
no, no, I'm not. I am.
Or
I
you
can be.
found it?
I'm sometimes logged on to Second Life without friends. Well, you're a friend of mine, aren't you?
Yes, of course I'm your friend.
Okay, and I otherwise could have gone to the VWER,
Yeah.
and
Which I now feel
they're all
guilty
friends of
about.
mine. Well, don't worry about it. Like I say, I chose this as an alternative.
A
So
little bit of a change isn't bad sometimes.
so yeah, I can pretty much find a bunch of friends and pretty much any time I'm online. Of course, and most of my friends are online at more or less some of the time. Well, they're basically in the U.S. or Europe, and
Where are
so
you?
they were. Well, I'm in Texas,
Me too.
so um, obviously my friends are going to be the people I know are actually are the kind of people who are also online about some part of the same time I am.
Yeah. So you guys kind of see each other all the time.
Yeah, and of course I can find them anytime I want to,
Yeah.
if I want to find somebody because I've got a good friends list. Um, and that works obviously just like my Rolodex used to.
Just like what?
My Rolodex.
Oh,
That
your
was
Rolodex.
yeah. Remember those old days?
No. Oh my goodness. So that is the objective. I just noticed from you that uh, people complain so much. Well, on my side of Second Life world, the way that I live it, a lot of my friends just stay on a platform, and so they say they get bored and they just log off and they don't do anything. So then I would say, I mean, they complain that there's nothing to do in Second Life, but just like you said, we have to find an objective and go
hmm
to search bar and go find people and talk to them, just like I talk to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, when I met you for the first time, you just said hi because I was here in the club, and you just said hi to me, and then you just sent me a friend request right away.
hmm Well, yes, I usually send a friend request pretty much to anybody that
Well,
I run into
right,
if I talk with them or anything,
yeah.
um, because you never know when I might want to talk with them.
There's Braxton is asking you in the chat. Would you say that Second Life keeps you active, so to speak, and keeps you young, quote unquote?
It'll keep you mentally active.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, probably it's not all that good physically because it has you sitting in the chair most of the time, but mentally it does keep you active, and or it does keep me active. And it obviously I have a lot of social interaction with people in Second Life that I don't have in the physical world. Actually, in the physical world, living in um, a retirement facility,
Hmm.
and as a matter of fact, since I had a stroke, I'm not even able to get around very much. So I don't really talk to many people here, but I really never did talk to them very much because they're all old people. Uh,
And you don't want to have friends that are old.
well, I don't mind having friends that are old, but they don't talk about anything but their grandchildren. Uh,
I understand. The type of people that you find in Second Life is pretty hard to find them close to you.
well, yes, that of course is an advantage of the Second Life.
Mm,
The people that I meet, of course, are because of selection. Most of the people I know are educators,
right.
have been educators, and are interested in education.
Mm,
And so um, it's that's a partly a matter of selection, but you know, there's a huge number of people that I could select among when I'm looking for people, educators, and I have looked for educators, and so I'm going to find a lot of educators in Second Life. I'm not going to find a lot of educators uh, running around on the street here in Fort Worth.
oh my goodness. You're funny. Yes, I did see because I was stalking some of the people here in your sim, so I wanted to say hi, but I didn't. And I did notice that a couple of them were educators. I think who was the lady? I don't know if she's still here or not. No, she's not here,
Val,
so I don't remember her name.
Val,
Um,
mm,
no, or maybe I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest. But yes, so Second Life in a way keeps you mentally young.
mm-hmm.
It will for all of us at some point.
Yes, yes, I think it does. Well, yeah, well, pretty much, um, probably for all of us, and whenever we come in.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Don't you ever feel like you need a little? Well, you know what? That's a irrelevant question because you just mentioned that there's not a lot of people that you like to communicate with in real life.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Selby, I think I'm out of questions, and I know there's a million that I could ask you, but
Well, go ahead. You can ask me any more. We yeah, probably got about 45 minutes of video right now.
I think you have 13. No, yeah, you're right. You have 45 minutes exactly. Is there anyone in the Braxton says it gives him hope with your answer. Oh my gosh. Is there anyone that would like to ask him questions or
Oh, you
Selby?
got some people there.
Yeah. They're saying hi to you. Um
Hi.
would love to, yeah, that's the question that he asked you about. Does Second Life keep you, would you say that Second Life keeps you young or quote
Well,
unquote mentally young?
yeah.
What
Well, yes,
about
I did say.
what about your friends now? Are they all different ages? Well, obviously, but I mean, are they within the range of the older um
Well, many of them are. I mean, my friends here in Second Life are, um, of course, they're educators, and it means they're professional educators. So
that's
they're
right.
probably well over 30 right then.
Mm,
And actually, they range all the way up into the 70s, I think.
yes.
I'm pretty sure I'm the oldest, but there are people, and of course, nowadays 70 is the new 60 anyway.
Yes. It is. It's a great way to say that. There's Lee who said, or is asking you, she said, is there anything that you do not like about the new Second Life?
Well, what do they mean by the new Second Life?
What do you mean about the new Second Life, Lee? We'll wait for her to answer. You know, because obviously the way that Second Life is used varies between ages, right? How
Hmm.
a 20-year-old would use it versus a 50-year-old.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of like my Second Life. Well, I guess mine is irrelevant too because I'm only here working most of the time. But younger generations that use it as a hobby or for fun, they do just a lot of clubbing, dancing, shopping, making their own home. Um, they don't know what Second Life back in the days was when everybody could voice or, and they also say that people used to be nicer back then versus now.
That I don't know. I have not noticed that, but of course, nowadays I'm interacting almost exclusively with from my friends.
With your friends,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So it's because you are, nothing has changed for you in a way because you haven't changed anything in your Second Life for a long time. And it's not a bad thing,
No.
but
Yeah.
you
Well,
stayed.
yeah, I could have changed some things if I wanted to, if I were dissatisfied. But since I like everything pretty much the way it is, working fine for me, so I have not done much changing.
Right.
And now, of course, the new kind of things they have cut the prices, and I certainly like that.
The
Um,
prices on what? I thought they were higher than before.
no, well, the cost of Sims, that's the only thing that
Oh,
I
the
really,
cost of Sims, yes.
yeah.
the the cost of Sims did go down. But how long have you had this Sim, by the way?
No, I've had this since probably since 2009.
Since 2009. My God, the owner must love you.
I'm the owner.
Oh, I meant the people you rent from. Wait, you bought
I
it?
no, I don't. Yeah, no, I bought
Oh,
it.
I
It's mine.
see. Oh, she said how it's evolved. She said how it's evolved. Maybe it's just me, but it seems to be less community based. I
Mm,
think she just joined us, and you probably didn't hear him, but he was explaining that in a way, Second Life is less community based because you choose it to be. Because we don't find it, or we don't go and quote unquote
yeah,
do that community
right,
ourselves.
right. Because actually, it is highly community based. The people who staying around almost always are in communities.
Yeah, and you would be a great person to do a Second Life commercial for, because you have such a positive view of Second Life, and in my side of Second Life, of where I quote unquote live, of that side of Second Life, it's almost always negativity. And I guess
Hmm.
because it's always in social media as well.
Hmm. No. Well,
So
yeah.
that's what they mean. And most people are, that are younger, live like that in Second Life. But we
Hmm.
know that there's a lot of potential to it, especially meeting people, making friends. So we kind of have the hope, and we go by the hope that we have, that we can finally kind of settle like you and your friends, because you've been friends with the people you talked about for so many years already.
Yes, I've been friends probably ever since 2000. Most of my friends I've known since 2009 or 10 or 11 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it happens a lot, but right now, for people that are new to Second Life, it's very rare for them. People are on the edge. When you say hi to them, they're rude. Um, if you were to send a friend request like you sent me without having a long conversation, they take that as a something wrong, or like, what's wrong with that person? They just sent me a friend request and I don't know them, type of thing. So it's
Well,
very negative.
there are some people that do turn down friend requests, and some people handle their friends connections quite differently. Some people have their friend connection turned on, and so that whenever a friend comes into Second Life, they get a ding, telling them somebody has come in,
Yeah.
and they can check and find out who the person is.
Yeah.
Uh, but now that obviously, if you're set up that way, you would want to limit your friends to a small number of people, because you don't want to. Otherwise, people are going to bother you. You're going to have a whole lot of dings all the time during the day.
Yes. You heard that, people? Keep
Hmm.
your friends to a minimum.
Hmm.
Keep your circle pretty small.
Yeah,
But
but I don't have that turned on. I have it turned off. I have if it ever gets accidentally turned on, I have to turn it on, because I do get dings from lots and lots of people.
yeah, right. I understand what you mean. So there you have it. He said ding a ding ding. But yeah, it's like Braxton said, Second Life is precisely what you put into it.
Yep, that is definitely well. Isn't that the way ordinary life works?
I do have to say this. I don't know if it's rude, but when I talk to older people in Second Life, it's genuinely nicer people than it is people my age or younger people.
Mm, Well, that's possible. Um, I think maybe as people get older, they get a little bit less
Bitchy.
acerbic.
Or that. Yeah, no, you're right. And it's like someone said, I don't know who said it. I think it was Braxton. It's like they're living in their ego mind. Hi, Duchess.
Mm,
Yeah, but I don't think you would. I don't know how I would explain that to you, because if you were to come on the my side of the world, like if I was to for you to hang out with me and go to shopping events and go to the clubs and things like that, it's like a whole new world to you.
well, yeah. Well, of course, actually, if I went if I went shopping at Walmart, it would be like a whole new world. As a matter of fact, I don't. I only go shopping at Amazon these days. They have it delivered to my place, so I don't have to go out and pick anything up.
Yeah.
Uh,
Isn't
but
that a wonder? It's amazing now.
so and of course, I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I'm thinking back to when I was in Walmart, and I don't. I certainly didn't speak to anybody, and they wouldn't have expected me to speak to them. I don't suppose.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God, I had a question in my head and it completely left. Oh, does your any of your real life family members know that you're in Second Life? Did you ever try to get anyone in Second Life?
Well, I've tried to get friends. I don't have any family members, but
Okay.
I've tried to get friends, and they do know. Everybody that I talk to pretty much knows that I'm in Second Life because I tell people basically to let them know that it's available. And I don't know of anybody who has actually come into Second Life um, and stayed.
Yeah. It's such a would you say that Second Life is hard to learn? It is hard to learn, to be honest.
Well, yes, I would. Well, it's hard. There's potentially a lot to learn, but you don't have to learn everything at once. I never found it hard to learn because I did not try to learn everything at once. Like I say, when I tried my avatar, that turned out to be. I tried altering my avatar, and that turned out to be difficult. So I decided just to keep the same avatar most of the time. Um,
That's why you
and
kept your avatar the way that it is now.
well, yeah, what?
That's why you kept your avatar the way that you did now.
Oh, well, I did after probably by 2009 or 10. I kept the avatar, but now when I came in at first, I know I didn't have the same avatar because I didn't know Lauren, uh, and I did have a casual avatar, and I think I had red brown hair at that time. I made my hair white, but
Hmm.
um, actually, I made my hair white because for a while I was working at a place where people newcomers came in to that location, and I was trying to help them um, get started in Second Life.
Yeah.
That was and um, I, I changed my hair. One of the things I discovered is there was all these there was really a lot of girls came in and they would all tell me I was hot, and I really wasn't interested in dealing with that, and wasn't all that at 80 years old I wouldn't have been all that hot anyway, um, and so I turned my hair white. That didn't help much, I don't think.
I feel like it did. I love the way that you kept yourself, honestly, and it only says it because of how you live your second life, and you could give one crap of what you look like in a way. And I'm saying that from my side because everybody has to have the new mesh body and the new mesh head and all that, including myself. I am guilty about that.
Mm.
Think I just changed my
Well,
head 2 days
yeah.
ago.
Well, actually, I've never really been that much concerned with what I look, even in real life. Um,
Besides showering and brushing your hair.
well, I did shower, but I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention. Well, and of course, I comb my hair, but didn't do anything much to it. And I really did not wear much in any fancy clothes, actually, when I could avoid it. Um,
Um,
and of course, as a college professor, you don't have to be all that fancy dressed up.
that's true. I do want to apologize so much to the people that have been in the chat of YouTube. I was not reading that. I was actually on the Facebook and I just went back. I want to say thank you so much to DeVrieve. And there's a couple of people that asked you a question, and there's someone that I'm going to read this question to you, okay?
Okay.
Um, how does Mr. Evans describe Second Life to people who know nothing about it or have heard if it's just full of, and she says perverts, because a lot of people use this for mature things.
Well, as a matter of fact, yeah, there are people who use it for adult, what is called adult um, activities,
Mm-hmm.
videos and pornographic images and so forth. There, or of course, there are a lot of people who use, um, people do that sort of thing in pretty much any place they can go, uh, and So yes, it is, that is true, but you don't have, it's just like, I'm sure that there are houses of ill repute right here in Fort Worth. I
Oh,
have never been to them. I don't know
yeah.
where they are, and so I don't encounter them. And the same thing is true in Second Life. I don't know where the pornographic stuff is, um, and so I don't run into those people.
Mm.
And it's not that I have anything against them, but that's not what I'm interested in.
I think you unknowingly are talking to us as the psychologist professor that you are.
Yes.
Because I've noticed that, and I'm learning from you, that when you talk about your Second Life and Second Life overall, is that when you log on Second Life, it's like you're stepping in with your 2 feet inside, and it's up to you how you live your life, period. Again. So whatever
Hmm.
you look for is what you're going to be attaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're making your Second Life. So
You're right, and I may be indeed sound like a psychologist
I
who
love
would
it.
tell you, that life in general is what you make of it, uh, not just what the world gives you.
Exactly. And if people change that mind, the way that they think about Second Life, then they would have such a much happier Second Life.
Hmm.
Is there anything else that you would like to say to them?
No, did you have any other questions from other people?
Let me check. Let me go back to. I hope that answered your question, Bryn. Let me go back to YouTube really quick and check that. Um, hmm, let me see. Just the comments that people don't talk much in Second Life. That's also another great point. We don't talk to each other much on Second Life,
Now,
especially using
wait a
voice.
minute, wait a minute. We've been talking to each other for over an hour.
No, no, not you and me. She's talking about people in Second Life.
Yeah, we're both in Second Life.
Well, there you go again.
We are people. And
Well, I mean, in general, whenever you come in Second Life, and as a new person in Second Life, I want to make friends. One
mhm.
thing, a lot of the Sims don't have a mic open for people to talk or the voice. Sorry,
Mhm.
to talk. The majority of the voice sims are made by for people to hang out and stuff. But again, those are griefers again, or whatever you would like to call them, and they give people a very negative experience and scares them to use voice. So it is hard to make friends in Second Life through voice, but
Well, yeah. No, actually, uh, um, no, I think most of, pretty much all of the educational sims um, have voice on. Um,
mhm,
and of course, actually, almost all the sims that I've gone to have voice on because I really don't go to sims if they don't have voice on because I want to talk to people. So it's really a matter again of knowing your way around. Um, that is to say, uh, well, again, if they followed my recommendation, which is to um, look through this, use search to find groups that you're interested in, and if once you find a group, you will find some of those will be most of, well, you'll find out whether they can talk or not, or
yeah.
whether they are located in a place where they can talk. Um, and so my recommendation is to look for people. Don't worry about locations. Worry about finding people who are interested in the same thing you're interested in.
Right. Like you told us about the search. If you are in here and one of your things is anime, go ahead and type anime and go to those Sims. And you have to be
Yeah.
the brave one.
Well,
Um,
actually, it's not a sim; it's a group, and there's probably
ah,
20 or
yes.
25, and so you can check, you can join some of those groups, and you can ask them. Uh, well, you can talk to them and ask them how you can get to their places.
Yes. And if you're interested in events, they have an event tab and all of that. Right?
Yes, right. And you will get notices if you join the group. You will be able to get notices of any events you're going to have, and some of them will have weekly events.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, I just Bryn didn't know. I guess she joined the chat later on that you were a psychologist in real life when you were working, and she made a joke and she said, "What are his office hours?" And I said he's retired because I don't I did not know she was joking. But yes, yes, he's retired, but was worth a try. Okay. So
Okay.
now that
Well, let's see.
concludes our
Yeah, go ahead. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, that conclude just because we went over the hour and I can hear my puppies that are about to go crazy. But if there's any last if there's any last questions, you guys can go ahead and ask him and he'll be happily um to answer them for you. Not about psychology. This is all about Second Life.
Right.
And his life. I think I asked you everything that I wanted to know. Well, there's so many things that we can know about you, but just in general. One of them was I wanted to see if Lauren's place was ever going to come alive, but I think you're just going to keep it as memory, right?
Yeah. That's at least that's what we anticipate at the present time.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I think someone is here.
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't know who that is. Can they hear us? Is that your friend? Hi,
Oh,
Jamie. Oh, no, it's just
oh,
the new
that's
person.
Jamie. There's yeah. Hi,
Yeah,
Jamie.
I just didn't mean you something. I apologize, folks.
Oh.
This is where I park.
Yeah.
That's okay. You can join us. We were just wrapping it up, but I'm glad you should have said something and you could have sat with us.
Well,
Mm.
it was very clear that you were live on YouTube, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh
So,
Yeah.
no. That's right. Let me see. You've been here for 14 years, and if there's a stage and a mic, you can bet I'm there. What do you do? Did you used to be a comedian here?
that's how I started here, and that's how Selby found me.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep.
Understood. Well, I'm glad to meet you. Unfortunately, you met us at the end of the show.
No problem. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad somebody is interviewing him other than me.
Okay. I'm pretty sure he's happy about that too.
Okay. Are we wrapping it up now?
Yeah, we're wrapping it up. I want to say thank you so very much,
Okay.
Selby, for your time and for
Oh,
um,
you're very welcome.
giving up that class. Tell
Mm.
your friends about, I'm sorry about that.
No problem. No problem.
And we'll keep
I
in touch and we'll maybe do another video and you can show us your sim or something.
yes, I can do that. And
And other than that, I think it's a wrap.
okay. I'm gonna sign. I'm gonna log off for the moment. I'll see
Okay.
y'all.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.